Hello there guys, and welcome to Star Wars Comics. It's Vader time again. We will dive deep into something we have never seen Vader do. Certainly this has never been seen in post-suit Vader. He was always calm and collected, but while on Otoa, the Sith Lord just completely lost it. He was even prepared to take his own life. While on a mission to take care of Otoan insurgents, Vader is ambushed and taken captive by Garrosh Tarkin and Shale, Imperials who supposedly were on his side. In fact, Garrosh Tarkin and Lady Sorrow, who was the High Priestesses of Otoa, were secretly together, and it seems that they had been for quite some time. Now their scheme involved Vader as well. While Vader is left alone, suddenly a familiar face appeared to him. The ghost of his deceased wife, a pregnant Padme Amidala. In fact, as soon as she uttered the name Anakin, Vader completely lost it. He screamed at Padme to never say that name again. That person was dead. He was gone. With that said, Padme simply turned around and said, "There is no one here for me," and slowly walked into the light and disappeared from view. Vader pleaded her to come back, begged her, but it was of no use. The anger started boiling at that moment, in fact, spilling over a bit. Darth Vader, the composed Sith Lord, completely broke down, screaming for Padme to come back. He broke his restraints and damn near collapsed the entire place in a furious rampage. While Garrosh and Sorrow were having a conversation, Vader brutally enters in the room and everyone sees his madness in his eyes. Safe to assume they panicked almost immediately. Vader starts throwing and choking everyone in sight. However, his opponents don't really know what's going on because at that point, Vader was asking, "Where is she? And where are you hiding her?" He rushed towards Shale, again asking him what he had done with her. Dazzled and confused, Shale pulled a lightsaber. It was in fact Vader's lightsaber that they had confiscated when they captured the Sith Lord. Shale ignited Vader's lightsaber and was preparing to kill the Sith with his own weapon. At this moment, Vader completely lost his mind. He was so infuriated that it didn't even occur to him to use the Force or anything. He simply started punching Shale with his bare fists. Keep in mind, one of these fists was a metal one. During the beating he gave to Shale, he was still asking for his wife and where were they hiding her. By the end, Shale was completely beaten to a pulp. He was hurt so bad that it took a lot for him to move his lips. Quickly, Vader realized that he had an explosive situation in his hands. In a sudden move, Vader picked Shale up and threw him as hard as he could, and while still getting hit by the explosion just a bit, he still managed to survive. While we have seen something similar in the newest canon Vader issues, I don't think they quite match the intensity of this particular event. After his skirmish with Shale, he was not about to calm down, walking around hoping that he could get to see her one last time, and indeed it was so. For the second time, his wife appears in front of him. It was at best a hallucination that Skywalker's brain fabricated in order to alleviate his pain and suffering. What seemed impossible to Vader happened. His wife was in front of him, his mind and heart at ease. Padme, however, made sure that he knew he killed her. As Vader gazed upon her face, she was a dead corpse. It's been months since he supposedly killed her on Mustafar. Vader just couldn't handle it anymore. He held on to the pain as much as he could, but at that moment, he dropped to his knees, confessed to everything, and admitted his wrongdoing. Padme finally, after all this time, forgave him. At that moment, the Anakin Skywalker in him came out. A single tear came out of his eye, as if all the pain that he carried with him through all this time started to melt. After him crying his pain away, Padme slowly started to fade, as much as Anakin or Vader pleaded not to. She had served her purpose. She was gone. Hearing his cries, Lady Sorrow appears before him. Vader still is shocked. His mind is shattered. He accuses Lady Sorrow of hiding Padme, and in his crazed anger, Vader force chokes Garrosh, blackmailing Sorrow to return Padme to him at once. To the credit of Lady Sorrow, with her nurturing words, she calmed Vader down. She wanted the bloodshed to stop, and then she told him. She said, if you won't stop for us, at least do it for her unborn. This hit Vader right to the core, knowing that not only was his wife gone, but his own child as well. All of them dead. He had nothing left. This overwhelming feeling came over him at that moment. He had nothing, but most importantly, no one to live for. He proceeded to stretch his hand upwards, and to the shock of both Garrosh and Sorrow, the Sith, using only the Force, brought the entire building crashing down on them. Darkness all around, presumed dead, until we hear the voice of Sidious. He in fact informs Vader that he was under rubble for days until they pulled him out. Garrosh, Sorrow, and their unborn child had died. His mission a success according to Palpatine, but the one who didn't want to live survived. How ironic. What is more sad is that this way of life continued for Vader for years on end, a slave to a path he regretted mere months afterwards. This continued to be so until the revelation that there was another Skywalker out there, and that he was his son. Finally, a reason to live. And so with that, we conclude today's episode. I sincerely hope you guys enjoyed this video. My name was Bessie, and I would love it if you leave your thoughts down below in the comments. Thank you for joining us today, and may the Force be with you always.